Welcome to the channel, everybody. I am Nick Alphanine. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could, please click that like button. Helps the videos be seen by many, many more people. That's very helpful to the channel. Turn it into a rocket and send it to the moon. So we have some very interesting developments today. Let's start here at omfif.org. All right. And they have an article here titled "The Future of Cross-Border Payments." Why is everyone talking about cross-border payments? Because the money that stands to be made, that's left on the table, we're talking about trillions of dollars on the table that could be scooped up, okay? And it's going to be insanely beneficial to these banks and institutions to have that money that they could not access before. They did not want to build the technologies. They were comfortable with the archaic, antiquated system. And so now you have NBFIs, non-banking financial institutions like RippleNet, like Ripple, Stellar Foundation, Algorand Foundation, Hedera stepping in and being willing to scoop up that money. Whether they're adopted en masse by banks or not, they were going to scoop up those trillions and quadrillions of dollars. They're coming after it, whether they were integrated with or not. So these large institutions, like the Bank of International Settlements, these large central banks, European Central Bank, and the International Monetary Fund, not only do they see the opportunity to make money by utilizing the bank coins, cryptocurrency rails, but they also see that if they don't take action and integrate, or if they can't control the different protocol, obviously, if they can't control the protocol, they must integrate with it in order to get a piece of that pie. What does that do for them? And then we'll get to us. What it does for them is it negates all of that money that they lost over the years, that they're losing every year. Hundreds of billions of dollars they're losing every single year. That's just in transaction fees. That's not to take everything else that they lose into account, right? So it would negate that and not only take them out of losing money, but it would put them in a massive surplus. Okay, we're talking about such a mind-blowing amount of money. And keep in mind that it's only going to increase. They're expecting a massive increase in cross-border payments over the next few years. So what does that do for you and I? That means that the holders of the banking coins, okay? I know some people only hold one banking coin. Some people like to just hold XRP. It's gonna do great. XLM, it's gonna do great. I hold all the banking coins. I'm in deep. I see the potentiality. I think it's wise to diversify a little bit. I think there's a good amount of people that have at least 3 banking coins. I think they're all going to do amazing. There's enough money out there for everyone. All of these protocols stand to win as long as everything goes according to plan. So we're on omfif.org, and there's an article here, "The Future of Cross-Border Payments." Let's take a little bit of a gander here. It says a new era in cross-border payments is coming. The G20 has made enhancing cross-border payments a strategic and economic priority. They didn't have a choice. Stellar is already laying deep roots in Africa, deep roots in Europe. So is Ripple laying deep roots in Europe. Algorand is in Europe as well. We saw them starting to move into Europe. Algorand is deep in Latin America. So we have all these banking coins setting up deep roots in all the places that the G20 is not able to access when it comes to cross-border payments, which is why all that money has been left on the table for years until now, okay? So they have no other option. It's either they're going to allow the rise of the blockchain foundations and companies, which would accumulate not just a massive amount of money, of capital, but they would accumulate a massive amount of influence over the world and a massive amount of influence in various sectors. This is about power. So they would, theoretically speaking, over the years, develop enough power to cause, if they wanted to, things to be very problematic for the IMF, the BIS, the European Central Bank. All of these supervisory bodies would have an issue because the NBFIs, non-banking financial institutions like Stellar Foundation, Ripple, Algorand, etc., would be able to rival them when it comes to control of different policies What is the standard as far as payments are concerned? And also, they're in a declining system. So they see the benefit of trying to integrate with the various protocol so they can benefit from the protocols as far as negating a lot of the losses that they're taking as far as transaction costs with the legacy system. They see the benefits of this. So they had no other alternative but to address it. So yes, it's a priority because you want to survive. All right. It says here, progress is essential in an area viewed as critical and yet steadfastly characterized as high in cost and low in speed. Let me just add in there how many unbanked. That's what they're really after. The unbanked is a lot of money being left on the table, and DeFi, different crypto protocols stand to scoop that money up for the first time. Large foundations and institutions will be able to take a piece of that pie, so to speak. And these large institutions in governments, nations, etc., they want a piece of that. All right, so let me add that in. There's a lot of unbanked money that is going to now be accessible. So it says low in speed with limited access and poor transparency. For the launch of Omfif's Future of Cross-Border Payments report, so this is something that we're probably going to analyze very soon, the Digital Monetary Institute is convening a panel to explore the potential role of digital currencies in cross-border payments, the future role of traditional payments providers and networks, the role of distributed ledger technology in upgrading wholesale payments and remittances, as well as next steps for global coordination. The future of payments is the DMI's annual benchmark report. Okay, so like I said, they don't want to be left behind. So what they're trying to do is play catch up. What does that mean for you and I as holders of the banking coin? This is wonderful news. The Bank of International Settlements is already pushing for them to integrate and upgrade their systems. Keep in mind, you saw the graph that I put up. If you watched the entirety of the other video that I put out last week, they're saying that it's going to take, I think it was like 2 to 3 years. In my humble opinion, that's conservative. That's conservative. They said 2 to 3 years just about to upgrade all of their systems to be able to fully utilize crypto banking rails and digital payment protocols for moving any type of fiat anywhere, whether it's cross-border payments or otherwise. Okay, so they said it's going to be 2 to 3 years, I believe, on their chart that they posted themselves. That was from a Bank of International Settlements document, wait, maybe it was from the other company's document. It was from a PDF. Okay. But I think that's conservative. I think it would be closer to 5 years. In my humble opinion, I think it'd be closer to 5 years. But if they really press the issue and really try to move things quickly, I think, yeah, it could be 3 years minimum, but it won't be without flaw. This system has to be rolled out as flawlessly as possible and as seamlessly moving from the old system to the new as possible for everything to go according to plan, and those particular corridors and those particular unbanked regions to be accessible how we need it to be accessible for both holders of the protocol and institutions to make as much money as possible from those particular protocol. So just keep that in mind, okay? Now we're here on CoinDesk.com. They have an article. It says CBDCs for the people, where the current state of digital currency research leads. A look at central bank digital currency studies and where they might lead. It says, while much attention focuses on the retail central bank digital currency, ruminations of China, Europe, and the United States, smaller jurisdictions are leading the way. For example, Uruguay. Wait a minute. Now, Uruguay might be, they may utilize Algorand. Let me just put that out there. We're going to get into that in a little bit. The Bahamas, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And the reason I want to throw that out there is because Uruguay was actually registered by CBDC Tracker as being, was it inactive? They were registered as inactive for a while, but I knew someone was going to step in. Algorand stepped in. I believe they're stepping in. They're trying to do something there. We'll see if they can actually pull it off or not. I personally was going to message Stellar when the news broke that Algorand was I think that Silvio Macaulay had a discussion with their president. Okay. I was literally about to message the Stellar Foundation and say, hey, get in there. I do stuff like that. I think that a lot of people out there should. And I was going to tell Stellar to make contact. But Algorand broke the news right when I was about to do that. And so Silvio Macaulay already is having discussions, I believe, with the Uruguay president. And we'll see what comes out of that. The Bahamas, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Nigeria, and Jamaica have each launched pilot CBDCs over the past 3 years. The potential benefits of CBDCs are numerous, from automating certain tax payments to preserving a nation's monetary sovereignty, if only theoretical at this stage. The idea is to revamp a crucial part of society, how money is issued and flows through an economy. And so even small design choices can have substantial effects. This is very true. Let me go back to Uruguay. Okay, so I don't know fully if they have a digital currency they're already utilizing. However, here's what happens. I told you before that nations and central banks can switch protocol. They can switch banking rails. And this is what the Bank of International Settlements and IMF have been pushing with MBDCs and MCBDCs. So never think that, well, they're using a different company. They're using, let's say, Ethereum consensus. You can always swap it out. If that's not working for you, they reserve the rights. I'm pretty sure they're going to have that contractually, that they can use another protocol or take that system and congeal it with another system that makes it even more efficient. So never keep that, never forget that aspect, that things can be congealed together. Protocol can be congealed together. That's the very idea of MCBDCs, MBDCs. And so let's say Uruguay already has some digital currency that they're utilizing. Because I know they were developing something. I'm not sure what system, but I know that they just broke the news that Silvio Macaulay was talking to their president. They could congeal something else with Algorand. Anything congealed with Algorand will be will be exponentially better after the congealing or the bringing together of it with Algorand. But like I said, we'll see what comes out of that. They could run a lot of other things on Algorand, but let's get back to the article here. According to our CBDC tracker, at least 64 central banks are exploring a retail CBDC, of which 20 have been launched or tested or are in the very advanced exploration stages. We say at least because our count is based on reliable public sources. However, according to the Bank for International Settlements, here we go with the BIS again, they're into everything. They don't want to be left out and they want to keep their power. This is very key to them, and this is why they will absorb. They will absorb the banking coins, or at least this is what they're doing. This is what it seems that they're doing. And they're going to continue to push other commercial banks and central banks, supervisory banks as well to adopt this particular technology. They see the vision. They want to keep the power structure the same. We want to get filthy rich. All of these things coincide. And right now the trajectory is muy linda, mi gente. Okay, so it says, however, according to the Bank for International Settlements, 58 of the 65 central banks surveyed at the end of 2020 were exploring retail CBDC. In any case, the growth in the number of retail CBDC explorers has been remarkable. Yes, it has. The pace has picked up. If anyone sees what's happening, the pace has picked up. And I think what's going on is that, like I said, IMF, BIS, European Central Bank, supervisory entities want to keep their power. They know they only have that power because of the money that they have, but they see other entities, non-banking financial entities, NBFIs, like, let's say, IBM, right? They have a myriad of commercial banks they're working with. And if they're the ones who are facilitating the usage of Hedera and Stellar, or let's say Visa with FIS, backing them, right? Or utilizing them, leveraging them. And they're bringing a whole host of commercial banks to Visa. Visa is leveraging who? Stellar through Tala. Also, FIS has ties, like I said, to Hedera. So Visa could also use Hedera if they wanted to. Through those particular connections, a lot of business entities talk with each other and they let each other know what's good, what's not good, what we should possibly use. These things are brought up in meetings all the time, okay? So ideas are exchanged at meetings all the time. Is definitely possible if FIS is deep into Stellar and also with Hedera. But the banks nevertheless, the banks see these non-banking financial institutions accumulating more power. It's not just about money, because they stand to make a disgusting amount of money. And you and I would make a disgusting amount of money as well. We will all rise with the mass adoption of these particular banking coins, cryptocurrency rails. But they don't want to lose their power, because that would be too much influence for non-banking financial institutions to have over commercial banks, okay, let alone central banks, if any of them decide to actually go by way of using these particular leveragers of blockchain technology banking coins. Okay, so I think a lot that's what's speeding up the pace. The BIS, the IMF, and the European Central Bank, I believe, want to remain in their position by conscripting these particular coins themselves, and thus they would keep their power, which is good for you and I, no matter which way it goes as far as mass adoption. As long as these cryptocurrency rails are adopted in mass and utilized by central banks, commercial banks, B2B remittances, and P2P remittances, those prices are not staying where they are. They're going to remix Raisito. DJ Alphanine. But that price is going to raise. It's going to be insane. Let's continue on here. So I was talking before about Algorand in Latin America. They have been dominating in Latin America, planting very, very deep roots in Latin America. And Latin America is exponentially growing into an exponentially massive economy down there. As far as the potentiality for the future, they are growing. They're developing quickly. There's going to be a lot of money coming out of there, especially with cross-border payments. There's so many people in the United States from Latin America and from Central America and South America who are going to be sending money. They're going to need cheap ways to send money back to family over there. So there's a lot of money on the table down there is what I'm saying. And we have Algorand, who has been doing a great job planting deep roots in Latin America. And so we have here a tweet from Silvio Macaulay from December the 8th. Some of you might have seen this. It says, "It was a pleasure meeting the mayor of Buenos Aires." The mayor of Buenos Aires. Silvio Macaulay's having a meeting with the mayor. Listen, once again, Algorand is showing, hey, the respect that Silvio Macaulay has from leaders around the world is opening doors for Algorand, quite easily, I might add. But then Silvio Macaulay and his intelligence and the way he can explain the particular protocol is second to none. They're making major moves in Latin America. That price of Algorand is going to go absolutely insanely parabolic, in my humble opinion, in future time, once all the different upgrades are made to the different banking and national infrastructures and such. That price of Algorand is going to go absolutely insane. So then we have that, and we also have on December the 9th, it says Silvio Macaulay tweets this: "Honored to meet the president of Uruguay." Remember, I think I was just talking about that in this video. Maybe it was the previous video. I'm not sure. "Honored to meet the president of Uruguay. It's amazing to see so much excitement in Latam regarding adoption of advanced blockchain technology." Silvio, Mr. Macaulay, I greatly appreciate you putting that little caveat on there. Advanced blockchain technology, not the archaic, antiquated blockchain technology, the big ones that everybody likes to talk about, right? That's not really in the know. The ones in the know, we understand that the advanced blockchains like Algorand, Stellar, using Byzantine and federated Byzantine protocols. Unbelievable. Or Hedera, using Hashgraph, which uses a gossiping mechanism to be able to store data. It's unbelievable what these things can do. That's advanced blockchain technology. So that's another reason why I keep cautioning people, do not have any fear, in my humble opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But when you see companies like Consensus step in, don't worry about it. They're utilizing Ethereum, leveraging Ethereum, which has high transaction costs. So once those institutions who experimented with Ethereum via Consensus see or experience these high transaction costs and slow times, they're going to look at something that also has amazing smart contracts. Let's say like Hedera. Let's say Hedera, who does what? 150,000 transactions per second at its max, right? Is capable of these particular things. They're going to look at that and say, wait, why won't we use that? When transaction fees on Hedera, HBAR, are almost non-existent. It can do almost 150,000 transactions per second max, right? At this particular time, I believe that's what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. It can do all the things Ethereum does, but better and save us money. Why would they not switch to Hedera? Of course they can. Of course they would, in my humble opinion. So have no fear when you see consensus around. It's my humble opinion they will swap it out. If the Bank of International Settlements comes to the president of Uruguay and they're pushing MCBDCs, MBDCs, which is what they've been experimenting with, and they say to the president of Uruguay, listen, we would like you to use our MBDC. It's a congealed conglomeration of XLM, XRP, and Hedera, right? Or let's say Algorand. Let's say Algorand, XLM. I think they both use federated Byzantine methods, right? And HBAR. We want you to use this. I don't think that they say no. I don't. They're going to look at those high transaction fees and slow times on Ethereum. They're going to look at this 2 to 3 second time that they can move fiat back and forth. They're going to look at the security of HBAR and Stellar. They're going to look at that plus 1 million transactions per second that Starlight can now do. And they're going to say, sure, we're going to use it. Thank you for coming to us and making us privy of these particular technologies that they would swap out whatever they're using to use an advanced blockchain, in my humble opinion. So never worry about those particular things. I just wanted to say that because I know I get these comments all the time about consensus and certain, there's only like a few countries not piloting, but experimenting with consensus. Only a few, but yeah, I believe that that few will either switch the protocol that they're using willingly, or they will be convinced by the European Central Bank. Remember, they have supervisory banks that are going to have massive influence. European Central Bank, Bank of International Settlements, or IMF will convince them to utilize an MCBDC or MBDC with advanced blockchain technology, as Mr. Macaulay just stated. So now we have some developments at Celo. Celo has been a little bit quiet on what they've been doing, but they have been expanding. They added to their team many brilliant minds this last quarter. So this article here is on medium.com. It's about the head of ecosystem growth at Celo. It's titled Making DeFi Mobile First. It says, Celo is a mobile first blockchain with a mission to create an open financial system that creates prosperity for all. The cryptocurrencies on Celo are algorithmic stable coins, Celo Dollar, Celo Euro. There's a proposal right now to introduce the Celo Real. Celo has a community, members in 113 countries, with most focus and growth in Brazil, India, Turkey, Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, and Uganda. So now we're seeing that Celo has some legs in Africa as well. And also very long legs in Latin America. Notice how all of blockchain is sort of working together in these areas, right? They're not battling each other. They're ready for everything to flow seamlessly one into another. This is one mega network that only appears to be different networks, different companies. With interoperability, what they're actually building is one mega system. One mega system. Now, each foundation is going to be able to upgrade and utilize their protocol in a variety of different ways, of course. But as they all advance, they're going to continue to sort of level each other out as long as continued advancement is possible on all fronts. They're all going to continue to level out, and there will be a seamless flow of money from one into the other. They're all going to have the same quadrillions flowing in and out of them. So they will all benefit from a high transaction volume and a high transaction value. This is why they're all in the same places. They're sort of on the on a similar plan, if you will. And as they are accumulating corridors, as they are accumulating power, this is making the IMF and BIS speed up their mass adoption of these protocols so they're not left out, so they're not left behind. It has community members in 113 countries. Then they have a little section here called DeFi for the People. DeFi for the People project is a $100 million fund with the goal of making decentralized finance more accessible. What did the IMF just talk about the other day? No, not the IMF. My apologies to you. The Bank of International Settlements had an entire article on DeFi where at first they highlighted the positives of DeFi. Then they sort of tried to highlight the negatives of DeFi. But what they hinted at is that the decentralization is an illusion because large holders of coins have more influence. Of course, DeFi is still growing. They negated to mention that DeFi is not at its peak just yet. It's going to continue to grow. But what they hinted at is that they would lean more towards what like Hedera has, where they have these large institutions as governing officials, right? But Hedera is still sufficiently decentralized because they separate certain aspects of the particular blockchain, therefore keeping the governance from having too much power, or one or a myriad of those governors having too much power over the blockchain. Okay, so that's what sufficient decentralization with a governing body of institutions would look like. That's what they lean towards. But it showed that they're concerned about DeFi. DeFi is a threat to them. All right, and they want a piece of DeFi. They don't want to lose their power. I told you a lot of this about power. How does that work out for you and I? It means they're going to have to integrate, which means that it's just a matter of time before they have mass adoption. They're going to need it. And it means they're pressed. As DeFi expands, the supervisory banks, the central banks are speeding up their mass adoption plans and their experimentation. That means that you and I can possibly get filthy rich, disgustingly rich, that much faster. That means their plans, everything is moving that much faster, bringing us closer and closer to a Raisito. That's what it means. So we have a PDF on IBM.com and it's titled Advancing Global Trade with Blockchain. This is on page 4 and here is their key takeaway section, and it starts as such. Organizations are interested in blockchain for more than outright profitability. I would beg to differ, but let's continue. Blockchain adoption has steadily increased, with 41% of organizations reporting a positive return on investment. Let me say that again. I told you it's undeniable. It's undeniable. That price is going to go insanely parabolic. Listen to this again and you tell me that they're not salivating to adopt even more advanced blockchain technology, to use it even more in a myriad of ways. Blockchain adoption has steadily increased, with 41% of organizations reporting a positive return on investment. As networks, rather than individual organizations, become the unit of competition, metrics expand beyond the balance sheet. For example, customer satisfaction ranks first among survey organizations as a measure of operational success across blockchain networks. Customer satisfaction, which equals what? When you have satisfied customers, that equals more business, more money. Listen, banking coin holders, we're going to dominate in the future. Oh man, the raising of that price, the rising of that price, the money, I just anticipate is going to be unbelievable. Let's continue on here. It says the blockchain economy, breaking through barriers to global trade. And industries and governments are continuously seeking ways to optimize the movement of goods, data, and currencies across global supply chains. Yet for all that effort, global growth needs a jumpstart. In 2019, the world's GDP rose by roughly 2.2%. And in 2020, we are seeing the impact of unprecedented global events. To ease economic barriers in trade, improving visible frictions such as tariffs and quotas, with most outcomes focused on reducing trade costs, And as a result of those falling trade costs, global trade could grow, get this, by 31 to 34% over 15 years. Oh, man. But just as intriguing, 2017 trade facilitation agreement signed by over 160 World Trade Organization member countries projects the achievement of significant cost reduction by improving non-visible frictions in trade, such as paperwork, procedures, and administrative formalities. Enter blockchain technology. I told you, they need this. They need this badly. I told you. Listen to what they're saying. Enter blockchain technology. It has the potential to diminish these non-frictions in global business, reduce costs, and save time while also mitigating risk and creating new business models. This is why ISO is going to be so important. They need that messaging standard, not just as a control mechanism, because it definitely is that, but to make sure that everything is brought to a perfected or acceptable level where all businesses will deem it as acceptable for use. Okay, that's very, very important. It says early adopter organizations have been working with partners and even competitors. Listen, in the future, it's not going to be competitors. There's enough money for everybody. I'm telling you this. It says this is why they're saying they've even been working with competitors. Look how they phrase that. Look how, just perceive how they wrote that. Because they know there's no reason for us to compete anymore. There's so much money that we're going to scoop up. Let's work together. There's enough money for everybody. So to improve existing shared processes, as they continue to collaborate in non-traditional ways, they recognize that blockchain brings a level of trust both among participants and in data shared. This could include dealing with customs paperwork, cross-border payments, or contracts for a service. But for global trade to see the full range of benefits from blockchain, trusted data needs to be shared and value exchanged both on blockchain and non-blockchain networks, not just among participants in a single network, but across interconnected networks in a digital marketplace. As a neutral agent for trust, a network of networks economy could help companies build greater flexibility. They're talking about interoperability. Interoperability. Who's been the biggest proponents of interoperability? XRP, Ripple, Stellar Foundation, XLM, Hedera HBAR, Algorand, Algo. These dips are a blessing. These dips are a blessing. I'm scooping up as much as I can every time. I hope it goes lower. Nothing matters until mass adoption. I'm not missing out on this life-changing wealth that is to come. Absolutely not. Not financial advice. This is not financial advice. I know a lot of you out there see what's going on. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can you imagine? Listen, can you imagine when news breaks? When the first major central bank adopts its CBDC? And what protocol was used? The news will mention it. XLM, HBAR, Algo. Oh, they use XRP. And let me tell you something. It's not about the FOMO. Who cares about retail? We don't worry about that little retail money. We're hunting the white whale. But what will happen, eyes will turn on you. And anybody that you told that you had XLM, XRP because you were just bouncing around, yeah, I got XRP, XLM, I'm holding. Shh, I would keep that quiet. You are holding something that has so much potential, so much potential. There's no telling how high it could go. And I wouldn't want to have too many eyes on me or where I live and people knowing that I just got filthy rich because the news told them that these protocol went parabolic. Absolutely not. You keep things like that quiet, keep yourself safe. The way it's looking right now, yeah. Cold wallet, that's number one. There are some hot wallets. I don't trust hot wallets. I don't trust hot wallet at all. Not with the banking coins, I don't. Not with the banking coins, I don't. Any other crypto sure, hot wallet. Banking coins, cold wallet, air gapped. In a safe. And hide the safe. You run down them stairs. holding the safe. This is me holding the safe. Run downstairs holding your safe, and you with a pickaxe. Get a pickaxe and you pickaxe. This is crazy. I'm just building a scenario. You pickaxe the dirt in your basement wall, and then you hide the safe in there, and then you take the cement and you seal that hole up. I'm just joking around, everybody. But anyway, a crypto cold wallet and possibly a good safe, and you hide the safe. Okay, I was joking around before, but yeah, hide that safe. It will get dangerous when everything goes parabolic. If it goes according to plan and it goes parabolic, remember there's no guarantees, but if it does, you want to protect yourself. Protect yourself. So then we have the Bank of International Settlements. They put out a tweet here, and there's no PDF or anything. It's just a regular tweet, but it says this, very interesting. Wrapping up December focus on payments. The Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures will publish on Tuesday. Okay, so this is good information. Will publish on Tuesday a look at the implications of developments in fast retail payments systems for large value payment networks. Let me read that again. That was very impactful, actually. So we need to be looking for a document that's going to come out on next Tuesday that they're going to publish on next Tuesday. Okay, so I'm going to be watching with my peepers peeping. I'm watching very, very owl-like. I don't know if that was owl or insanity, right? But I'm going to be watching for that document. You should as well, I believe. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But also it says, I told you, it says systems for large value payment networks. Large value. High value plus a high volume equals that price is going to go parabolic. Do you read what they said? Developments in fast retail payments for large value, high value, and you already know the volume is going to be insane. And high volume, those two together equals that price going through the roof. It won't be at 23 cents, 24 cents, 32 cents. It won't be at $1. It won't be at $2. It won't be at $3. I'm telling you this. They're not going to stay there. Everything right now, all these prices are a gift. So, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So, until next time, let's get to the money.